to Live at 4 on this Thursday afternoon, the gateway to the weekend.
Yeah, and it's going to warm up this weekend. I don't know if maybe we're just getting used to it, but today felt a little bit better, even though it was still very cold, right?
Yeah, it's like 19 degrees.
Yeah, we are getting used to it.
It's Wisconsin.
Yeah, right.
Here's what's making news on this Thursday. The former NICU nurse found guilty of child abuse is being sentenced in Dane County Court today.
Political reporter Amy Reed is at the Capitol as the Wisconsin legislature sends a $250 million tax cut to the governor.
And longtime advisor of President Trump is sentenced today in Washington.
Let's take a look outside. Today was another bright day of sunshine.
Sunshine helps a lot.
It really does. The snow piles, these are getting tricky at intersections. Yeah. Have you noticed that? Be careful.
It's piling up, that's for sure. But a warming trend begins. That's the good news. Chris Reese is in the backyard where the sun is still shining.
Yes, the sun is indeed still shining, and we do have a warming trend on the way. I think folks are going to be pretty excited about that one as we head into the weekend. Here's that sunshine that's outside right now. We've had a lot of that around all day long. Temperature-wise, we topped out right at 17 degrees, so I did kind of laugh when you all were saying it felt not all that bad out there. It's February in Wisconsin, so we're starting to get used to these kinds of numbers. Teens and 20s all across the upper Midwest. But one of the things I want to show you is across parts of Minnesota and the Dakotas. You're seeing how temperatures are a lot warmer than they were 24 hours ago. Tomorrow, that'll be the tune we begin to sing, as temperatures will be about 15, maybe even 20 degrees warmer than where they are right now by the time we get you into the afternoon. And that leads us into the weekend. There is indeed a weekend warm-up coming our way, but in addition to being warm, we're going to have to watch this little area of low pressure developing over the Rockies. By Sunday, that could be the next troublemaker by the time we get you towards early next week. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later in the show. For now, this is the Beltline at Park Street. Traffic is moving along right now, but we are starting to see some of those slowdowns showing up, especially in the eastbound direction. Once you get towards Park Street and Fish Hatchery over towards John Nolan, you will begin to encounter more of those delays. We'll track how that goes throughout the rest of the show. Stay tuned, folks. In the meantime, back to Mark and Susan at the desk.
Chris, thank you. See you in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. First at 4, the former NICU nurse who pleaded guilty to abusing 10 babies at Meritor Hospital will spend the next 13 years in prison.
Danica Lewis has the very latest from Dane County Court. Danica?
So this has been going on all day, guys. Christopher Capeham pleaded guilty to 19 felonies, admitting to abusing those babies from March of 2017 to February of 2018. That plea came back in September, but today was the day those parents finally got to hear what sentence the former nurse will serve. Before that, some of them shared their emotional testimony, talking about the guilt they felt leaving their vulnerable newborns in the care of medical staff that they trusted, and the long-lasting effect the injuries will have on their children and their own psyche. While we can't identify them on TV, multiple mothers say they don't even leave their toddlers with anyone else but immediate family due to the trauma they endured.
I'm not guilty of a crime, yet I bear the weight of the guilt that comes with leaving my baby in the care of someone who caused intentional, avoidable harm to her.
Judge Jill Karofsky, presiding over the sentencing today, reflected on the vulnerability of these victims and the unanswered question of why someone would cause harm to premature babies. In addition to his 13 years in prison, Capeham is not allowed to have any contact with the victims or families involved in this case. He cannot have unsupervised contact with anyone under 18 or be employed by a healthcare provider without special permission, and he will undergo a mental health assessment and treatment during his sentence.
Danica, thank you.
Sure.
The daughter of a state lawmaker has been sentenced for providing the drugs that killed a pregnant woman. 30-year-old Casey Nygren was found guilty in June of 2017 of killing Jennifer Skeen. Skeen died of an overdose of heroin and fentanyl. Nygren was sentenced to 13 years in prison and 17 years of extended supervision. She is the daughter of Representative John Nygren of Marinette. Casey's struggles prompted him to sponsor several bills aimed at combating the opioid epidemic.
The Department of Justice Justice says a school superintendent in Eau Claire County was indicted this month on child sex trafficking and production of child pornography charges. The federal indictment against Altoona School Superintendent Daniel Peggs was unsealed today. It alleges the incidents happened from October of 2015 through May of 2016. According to a federal attorney, the child involved was not from the Altoona School District. If convicted, Peggs faces a mandatory minimum penalty of 10 years and a maximum of life in federal prison. He appeared in federal court here in Madison this afternoon. We'll have an update from the Altoona School District coming up at 5.
A group monitoring the legal settlement over the Milwaukee Police Department stop and frisk practices reports officers failed to document a justification in 80% of such instances in the first half of last year. The Crime and Justice Institute found many of the officer reports narratives lacked the details to establish reasonable suspicion of the people being frisked. The organization is monitoring the police department as part of a $3.4 million settlement with the American Civil Liberties Union of Wisconsin over stop and frisk practices.
A gunman went on a deadly shooting spree in western Germany, killing 9 people. Police believe the suspect's far-right views may have fueled the attacks. Authorities say a 43-year-old German man unleashed a deadly shooting rampage in a suburb of Frankfurt. The suspect opened fire at 2 hookah bars, beginning his killing spree at the first lounge before driving to another. After a 7-hour manhunt, police found the suspect and his mother both dead at this home. German media have identified the alleged shooter as Tobias R. Before the killings, the suspect posted a video of himself online with conspiracy theories about the U.S. government and the military. A bill giving $250 million in tax cuts is on its way to the governor's desk.
That's after passing the Senate and Assembly this morning. Amy Reed joins us now from the Capitol to explain its future. Amy?
That's the part that's uncertain. This morning, the Senate came in early ahead of the Assembly session in order to get it passed through their side. Then representatives spent more than an hour debating the bill. It puts $250 million of a projected revenue surplus toward tax cuts that would benefit the middle class. $100 million pays off some debt, and about $45 million goes toward a property tax exemption for manufacturers. A couple Democrats sided with Republicans in sending this to the governor, who Republicans said promised a 10% tax cut during his campaign that he has not yet met, while other Democrats called out Republicans' unmet promise to get 2/3 state funding for education.
If he enacts this bill into law, he will go one step closer to actually keeping his word that he ran on in 2018. So I don't accept the fact that he won't sign it because there's no good reason not to.
They said they want them, they said their priorities, but instead there seems to be no will so far to do it. And then 6 days before session, they kind of cart through an unvetted proposal.
What's not broken?
You might remember the governor had an alternate proposal for the projected surplus. He wanted to put the money toward education, including millions for special education, mental health programs, rural schools, and property tax relief. He tweeted his continued support for his plan yesterday. Now, his team wouldn't tell us today if he plans on signing those tax cuts into law, but the Speaker of the Assembly did say that if Evers does veto it, they'll look to override in May.
Amy Reed, live at the state capitol. Amy, thank you.
Democratic presidential candidates are back on the campaign trail after the most fiery debate of the election season so far. Former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg took the brunt of the attacks, with Senator Elizabeth Warren as his toughest critic. At a campaign event in Salt Lake City, Bloomberg tried to brush off his bruising debate performance and pivot to a platform of electability.
The real winner in the debate last night was Donald Trump. Because I worry that we may very well be on the way to nominating somebody who cannot win in November.
Understand this about Michael Bloomberg. He believes that because he's a billionaire, he can just buy an election.
Senator Elizabeth Warren is betting on a strong finish in Nevada after losing ground in Iowa and New Hampshire, while Bloomberg makes his push in the states with primaries March 3rd, including Utah. The rest of the Democratic field is laser focused on Saturday's First in the West contest. President Trump is on a West Coast swing, raking in campaign money and working to fire up his supporters as the Democratic hopefuls battle it out for their party's nomination.
Roger Stone has his prison sentence, but he's not going to jail just yet. President Trump's longtime ally was convicted by a jury back in November on 7 charges stemming from special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into 2016 election interference. Skylar Henry has more.
Roger Stone emerged from a federal court to chants of "lock him up" and cheers from supporters after receiving a prison sentence of just over 3 years on charges of obstruction, lying to Congress, and witness tampering. Federal Judge Amy Berman Jackson delayed Stone's sentence until she reviews his request for a new trial based on allegations of political bias. President Trump reacted to the sentence at a law enforcement event in Las Vegas.
At some point, I'll make a determination, but Roger Stone and everybody has to be treated fairly. And this has not been a fair process.
Stone chose not to speak during the 2.5-hour sentencing hearing. He continues to deny wrongdoing. Traitor! Protesters outside the courthouse were split, with some labeling Stone a traitor and others calling on the president to issue a pardon.
Pardon Roger Stone! Pardon Roger Stone!
Earlier this week, President Trump granted clemency to disgraced former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, fueling speculation he could pardon Stone.
But I'm not going to do anything in terms of the great powers bestowed upon a president of the United States. I want the process to play out.
House Intelligence Committee Chair Adam Schiff weighed in on Twitter, writing, "To pardon Stone when his crimes were committed to protect Trump would be a breathtaking act of corruption." The judge also ordered Stone to pay a $20,000 fine and perform 250 hours of community service. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
The final sentence was far lighter than the original 7 to 9 year sentence that federal prosecutors recommended earlier in the case. All 4 of those prosecutors resigned from the case after Attorney General William Barr overruled those recommendations hours after President Trump said those guidelines would be a miscarriage of justice on Twitter.
Investigators in Florida are trying to determine how a car rolled off a ferry into a channel about 50 feet deep, killing both women inside. The first distress calls came in just after 5 p.m. Tuesday. The car was apparently at the front of this ferry, which was transporting vehicles and passengers from Fisher Island to Miami Beach, some 2 miles away. Dive crews searched the waters overnight, eventually finding the 2 deceased women inside the car, which was brought back on shore and towed away.
It's still very early in the investigative process. Our teams here from Sector Miami alongside Miami-Dade County Police have communicated with the crew and with passengers and are just beginning to put those pieces together.
The Fisher Island Community Association, which runs the ferry, issued a statement saying the entire community mourns their loss and our hearts and prayers go out to their families and loved ones. A producer with Inside Edition took the 7-minute trip on the same ferry line. Chocks were put in front of the wheels to keep the cars from rolling. They're reportedly not required by law, but the Coast Guard tells the Miami Herald the crew is believed to have used them to secure the Mercedes on Tuesday. There was only what appears to be a thin barrier of netting between the cars and the water.
Well, there is more. For a major medical bill can wipe you out financially if you're not insured.
In the past, most hospitals set up payment plans, but now more and more of them are suing the patients. We'll have more on that when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Don't miss the biggest night for animals in Dane County, Toto's Gala. Join Dane County Humane Society this March for an elegant evening with our 2- and 4-legged friends. Reserve your seats today at giveshelter.org.
Built for your next adventure, it's the 2020 Subaru Crosstrek Premium at Don Miller. With symmetrical all-wheel drive, the Crosstrek has vehicle dynamics control and EyeSight driver assist technology. Lease the Crosstrek Premium, $239 per month plus tax, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, no security deposit, $1939 due at signing. Get all-wheel drive plus MPG. The 2020 Crosstrek Premium at Don Miller Subaru, West on Odana or East Side, High Crossing Boulevard, Madison.
Don Miller. We are the Thrivers. Women with metastatic breast cancer. Standing in the struggle. Hustling through the hurt. Asking for science, not sorries. Our time for more time has come. Living longer is possible and proven in women taking Kisqali plus fulvestrant or a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor. Kisqali is the only treatment in its class with proven overall survival results in 2 clinical trials, helping women live longer with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali was also significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor or fulvestrant alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious liver problems and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. It's our time to continue to shine because we are the Thrivers. Ask your doctor about Kisqali, the only treatment in its class proven to help women live longer in 2 clinical trials.
A great president and an effective mayor, leadership that makes a difference.
He's been a leader throughout the country for the past 12 years. Mr. Michael Bloomberg is here.
Together, they work to combat gun violence and again to improve education for every child.
I want to thank the mayor of this great city, Mayor Bloomberg, for his extraordinary leadership. I share your determination to bring this country together to finally make progress for the American people.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Don't miss the biggest night for animals in Dane County, Toto's Gala. Join Dane County Humane Society this March for an elegant evening with our 2- and 4-legged friends. Reserve your seats today at giveshelter.org.
Welcome back. The U.S. economy may be doing well, but experts say that's not reflected in our paychecks unless you're rich. The Economic Policy Institute reported that the median increase in 2019 paychecks was slower than expected at just 1%. That while earnings at the top of the income ladder received the largest increase, 4.5%. Economists have struggled to explain the sluggish wage growth for average and low earners. America's labor market is healthy, and the unemployment rate sits near a 50-year low. Well, Barbie is paying tribute to important women in history.
Mattel has released the latest line in its Barbie Inspiring Women series. Jazz singer Ella Fitzgerald, tennis legend Billie Jean King, and the founder of modern nursing, Florence Nightingale. All 3 dolls come with specifically themed accessories. Mattel called the women incredible heroines of their time who took risks, changed rules, and paved the way for generations of girls. They cost $29.99. And you can find them at Target, Walmart, Amazon, and Barbie.com. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is a great idea.
Well, in a time when ghosting replaces polite decline and we spend more time posting selfies than ever meeting face-to-face, there is a renewed push to get our manners in check.
And if there's ever a time to mind your manners, it's while meeting Lizzie Post. She and her cousin Dan Post-Senning are great-great-grandchildren of the iconic Emily Post, who literally wrote the book Etiquette back in 1922. With their weekly podcast, Lizzie and Dan now run the Emily Post Institute in Burlington, where they also updated the original book with modern manners like prioritizing people over cell phones.
We travel and speak and promote etiquette in person in a world where it's easier and easier to get information, but that human connection is really at a premium.
Society has changed since the days of their great-great-grandmother, but to the Posts, kindness and courtesy never go out of style. The Post cousins are now working on the 20th edition of their great-great-grandmother's book for the 100th anniversary. Renewed fears of the coronavirus spreading sent stocks lower on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials fell 128 points, closing at 29,219. The NASDAQ dropped 66. The S&P 500 was off almost 13. Well, some hospitals are now suing patients to collect their medical debts.
Many people use payment plans when they're hit with bills that they can't afford, but some hospitals are seizing patients' tax returns, withholding portions of paychecks, and collecting interest on top of the initial medical bill.
Anna Warner visited a community where one hospital has filed hundreds of lawsuits.
At their T-shirt screen printing company outside Dothan, Alabama, Daryl and Casey Roberts are struggling to stay afloat.
How's it going? Slow. Businesses are closing. People are not making money like they used to be.
In 2015, the couple found they could no longer afford health insurance. Casey said she had a choice between paying the premiums or taking her son out of college.
I wanted my son to have a better life than I had. So what do you do as a parent? You sacrifice.
Casey says she'd been healthy, but in May of 2016, she had an attack of severe abdominal pain.
When I say I felt like I was dying, I felt like I was dying.
Her husband rushed her to local Flowers Hospital.
The doctor told me she needs to have this surgery now.
Her appendix was about to burst. She needed an emergency appendectomy. A few weeks later, the Roberts got the doctor's bills, which didn't surprise them. They came to a little under $3,000. But then the hospital's bill arrived. The charge, over $52,000. Even with a supposed discount for uninsured patients like Roberts, the total still came to about $31,000.
I thought it was crazy. That's a house in Alabama in this area. That's a house.
But she and her husband still paid the hospital what they could, $25 a month for nearly 3 years.
As long as I can work and they'll accept payments, we're going to pay, because everything that we've ever worked, had in life, we've paid for.
Yes.
Then in September of 2019, the hospital sued them for the entire balance plus interest. The total, nearly $37,000. At that point, Casey says,
I told my husband, I wish you to let me die. How can you even think that? I've told my husband this. I've said, honey, I love you and I love my family, but if you have let me go, today you would not be going through this.
But what she says she didn't know was that original $31,000 bill was likely much higher than what she would have paid if she'd had insurance, and some $25,000 more than what Medicare would be charged by a hospital on average for an appendectomy, just $5,800.
It seems like they're taking advantage of people who don't have insurance. And I say you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Why would you even do that?
And they're not the only ones Flowers Hospital has sued. CBS News found last year the for-profit hospital sued more than 1,500 people. It's not clear whether all the lawsuits were over medical bills. But in one letter to the court, a mother of 3 wrote with her $11 an hour paycheck, she couldn't afford the over $11,000 bill for emergency treatment.
I think it's despicable.
Attorney Christy Kirkland works on those kinds of cases at the Nonprofit Legal Services of Alabama.
They're going to be paying it forever, or at least for a very, very long time. This is not a debt that they're going to be able to get out from under very quickly.
In court, Kirkland says usually the best she can do is get their payments stretched out over decades, what the attorneys here call the slow bleed.
Some of these people will be paying $5 or $10 on their debt until the day they die.
We wanted to ask hospital officials about their prices and all of those lawsuits.
CBS News.
We were told to make an appointment.
I'd like to see if he'd be willing to speak with us on camera. Okay. For the story. Okay.
The next week, they turned us down. Instead, they sent us a statement saying they try to work with patients, but some individuals refuse to engage with us to resolve their balances. Litigation is always a last resort and used only, they said, for patients who can afford some level of payment. Meanwhile, Casey Roberts has a large, painful lump growing on her shoulder.
I have not been to the doctor. I can't afford it. Do you think people like yourself should be having to make those choices? It shouldn't be that choice. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
Well, in its statement, Flowers Hospital told CBS News it offers interest-free payment plans for some patients and looks to see if they're eligible for charity care or Medicaid.
The Roberts faced a default judgment in January, essentially a court order to pay, but they have since contacted Legal Services of Alabama, and attorneys there got that judgment overturned.
We'll continue to follow that story.
There's more to come at 4. Later on, we're going to get a check of how effective the flu shot has been this year.
And we're heading for a warm-up in the weather department. Chris Reese has a look at your forecast when Live at 4 continues. We'll be right back.
I suffered with knee pain for almost 4 to 5 years. I wanted to have the conformis after looking at all the different options. I think having the surgery with the ortho team is the only way to go. They all look out for you as a patient.
Ish Monroe, Mark Zona, Pete Mena, Tommy Kimo, and other fishing experts will be speaking at the Wisconsin Fishing Expo, February 28th through March 1st at the Exhibition Hall at the Alliant Energy Center. Same great show with a hot new look, now with even more booths. New Kids Fishing Bingo for the first 500 kids per day. Over 300 booths. Hundreds of boats priced to sell. More gear and tackle than ever. Go to wifishingexpo.com for details. Kids 12 and under free.
Get incredible savings on your new mattress during Steinhaffel's President's Day sale. Right now, save up to $800 on an adjustable base, plus up to $300 in bonus cash and free next-day delivery with any Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, or Stearns & Foster set purchase. Plus, take advantage of 0% financing that's right for you. With free delivery, bonus cash, and up to $800 in upgrade savings, you can't make a mistake. It's Steinhaffel's President's Day sale.
Go in the snow plus MPG, your Subaru Ascent from Don Miller. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and 27 MPG highway, the Ascent will get you through in great shape. It's the roomiest Subaru ever. The Ascent has third-row seating and space for 7 or 8 passengers. The 2020 Ascent Premium. Lease from only $319 a month, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, $19.99 due on signing. No security deposit. Don Miller Subaru, West on Odana or East Side, High Crossing Boulevard, Madison.
Don Miller.
This is a story of the American dream. It starts here, in a middle-class neighborhood with a middle-class kid named Mike. When his father died, his mother went to work and became the breadwinner. She instilled in Mike a belief in hard work and a drive to build a better life. So he started a company from scratch with an idea and endless hours. Today, that makes him the only Democrat in the race who's created 20,000 jobs. He's the only Democrat who's run the largest and most diverse city in America, rebuilding after 9/11, creating over 450,000 jobs and expanding health care coverage to 700,000 people. The only Democrat who's built a grassroots movement to combat gun violence, and he's a leader combating climate change. The only Democrat who's never taken a penny from special interests. Now Mike is running to deliver on the American dream for everyone with common sense solutions and the ability to get it done, because Mike Bloomberg is the only Democrat who can take on Trump, and Trump knows it.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
I suffered with knee pain for almost 4 to 5 years. I wanted to have the conformis after looking at all the different options. I think having the surgery with the ortho team is the only way to go. They all look out for you as a patient.
Well, take a look at this. Sadie literally leaps into action when her trainer Jameson collapses on the floor. The incredible 3-year-old German Shepherd jumps up and down to perform CPR. Sadie's actually a service dog who's been training since she was 8 years old. 8 weeks old, that is. Besides knowing CPR, she's also an American Kennel Club show dog who can perform lots of stunts and tricks.
That's incredible.
Doing CPR.
Wow.
Good girl.
Yeah, good girl, Sadie. Well, it is a very special day today for all pet owners.
It's National Love Your Pets Day. To help celebrate, we thought we'd share a few pictures of some of our pets. Of course, there are my pets, the News Hounds, Lola and Louie.
That is such a funny picture of Louie. And here's my Kit. We call her name is Angel, but we call her Kit.
And here's our producer, Matt, and his dog, Louie, I-E, as opposed to Louie, L-U-I.
L-U-I, that's right. Do you have a pet?
I had a pet until recently. It was my childhood pet that I got as a Christmas gift.
Aww.
But he passed away this year.
Oh,
Was it a dog?
I'm sorry,
It was a dog.
Chris.
What kind of dog was it?
It was a Yorkie poo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like this big?
Well, he was a little bigger. He was a little bit bigger than that. He was a sweet dog.
Yeah, he has a special place in our hearts, that's
Absolutely.
for sure.
Oh, yeah. And maybe this weekend it's going to be good walking weather.
Yeah, we didn't walk this morning.
No, a lot of folks didn't. But this weekend, folks, we're talking temperatures they'll get you outside. I'll tell you that.
All right.
Good. Yes.
The Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. 0 due at signing, plus no payments for 90 days, plus 0% for 66 months. Drive this 2020 Kia Sportage for $264 per month. It's the Russ Darrow Madison Kia Auto Show Plus event on Odana Road in Madison.
What makes you one of a kind?
I can ride a unicycle.
Acting's my passion. I love theater.
Time to embrace your uniqueness by taking the BU Pledge. A promise to celebrate yourself and your friends for being exactly who you are. Visit Channel 3000's Time for Kids page to sign the online pledge and enter to win cool giveaways. Come on and take the BU Pledge.
SSM Health and News 3 Now encourage you to take part in the BU movement.
Surgenian's 90-year history means you pay $90 for installation no matter how many rooms you carpet. Get carpet and pad, your furniture moved, and your old carpet recycled. Our competitors can't match it. Local, sustainable Surgenians.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure, and trust your heart to Entresto.
Celebrate 45 years of music with Sweet Honey in the Rock. This internationally renowned female vocal quartet remains the preeminent musical collective rooted in African-American history and culture. Sweet Honey in the Rock, Saturday, February 29th. Tickets at overture.org.
The Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. 0 due at signing, plus no payments for 90 days, plus 0% for 66 months. Drive this 2020 Kia Sportage for $264 per month. It's the Russ Darrow Madison Kia Auto Show Plus event on Odana Road in Madison.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Every now and then, it's just good to give you good news, and that's exactly what I'm going to do for folks who are maybe getting ready to hit the belt line. If you are commuting this evening at all, things are going to be absolutely fantastic. When it comes to issues that we may see out there on the roads, about the only one to be concerned with is the fact that the sun angle's a little bit low. So you will need to make sure that you have your sunglasses as you begin to hit the road. This is looking west, especially if you're going to be driving west. That sun angle is going to get lower and lower and lower into the sky. So that's something to keep in mind, especially as you drive out on those roads. But one of the other things that is going to be fantastic for folks is we're going to see milder days, especially as we head into the weekend. And your weekend itself is also going to feature plenty of sunshine. But we do have to focus on early next week. We really want to watch that one closely. I'll touch on all of these things in a moment. Let's start with temperatures this morning, just because some of us, I mean, these temperatures really went down. 8 below 0 or 8 below 0 as you work your way in Madison. But Black River Falls, that was 31 degrees below 0. Now, of course, we warm things on up. We're in the teens right now. Here's what happens, though, as we go through the overnight hours. We're about to see these milder temperatures work their way back in. 10:30, temperatures are going to be at 2 o'clock. Focus on the wind particles here. They're coming out of the south and west. The southwesterly wind is one that helps to warm you up. So by 7:30, temperatures temperatures are already starting to approach the double digits, and then we move into the afternoon. So this is lunchtime. We're talking temperatures in the upper 20s, knocking on the door of 30, and we will see our highs into the mid-30s tomorrow. Some folks may even work into the upper 30s for those highs on Friday. Check this out. Saturday morning, 6 o'clock, temperatures are already waking up into the lower 20s. So this is where our pattern is going. This Arctic air associated with this area of high pressure, that gets shoved down towards the south and east. What happens, it's the clockwise flow. On the backside of that, that creates a southwesterly wind, and that really warms us up. So as we move into Sunday afternoon, we are really seeing the milder air here across the upper Midwest. But then we have to pay attention to this. This is the next area of trouble that's going to be coming our direction. Let's talk temperatures. Saturday afternoon, we'll be into the low 40s. We'll see that again as we move into Sunday afternoon with temperatures in the low 40s. You work your way towards northern and central Illinois. Some areas will be into the 50s. This is the warm-up that's helping with that. As we move into early next week, though, we start to see a push of colds coming out of the southern area of Canada. Now, when you get a push of cold, such as that one of the things you run into is a possible storm system that develops with that, and that's what some of the models have been showing. So here we are Sunday night, those clouds begin to increase. We could see a little bit of a rain-snow mix to all snow by the time we head into early next week. And some of that could be accumulating snow. We still have several days to follow the details with that one, but that's the next impactful weather that we're going to be keeping a very close eye on. Temperatures right after that go back down into the 20s with perhaps some single-digit lows, perhaps Thursday night into Friday. But if there's anything that I truly want to point out, there are no negative numbers in that forecast. The average last day for a negative number is February 17th.
3 days ago.
3 days ago. Now, of course, this morning we were below zero, but around this time of the year, those days are numbered.
Yeah, it's March at the end of that forecast.
March is at the end of that forecast.
All right.
So spring's coming.
Almost there.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Well, those warmer temperatures this weekend means it could be a good time to get outside and enjoy things that are going on around the community.
Christina Laurie has a look at what's going on in this 608 this weekend.
Hi, Mark and Susan. This is always the time of year when things start to warm up. Madison gets busier, and this weekend, no exception. Live music fans can check out the Toasters tonight at the High Noon Saloon. From New York City, the Toasters have been ska legends ever since the 80s, and the group continues to push that genre forward. Catch the band on its 40th anniversary tour. The Overture Center for the Arts lands another Broadway musical. The Tony Award-winning The Color Purple has a Grammy Award-winning score, and it's here for several shows today through Sunday. Based on the novel by Alice Walker, The Color Purple tells the incredible life story of an African-American woman living in the rural American South in the early 20th century. Before the second show on Saturday, UW-Madison professor Sandra Adele will host a discussion about Walker's novel and other African-American women writers. For those with an eye for beauty and a talent for making it, the Fine Art and Craft Sale at Old Brick Botanical Gardens on Saturday and Sunday is a must. For more than 30 years, the Madison Weavers Guild has put on this event, which brings together artists from across the Midwest. Finally, the Children's Theater of Madison brings the heartfelt play Mockingbird to the Overture Center. The play focuses on a talented 11-year-old artist living with autism who loses her brother in a school shooting. Mockingbird is a thought-provoking production, but a warning for parents, it does deal with a sensitive subject and might not be appropriate for kids under the age of 10. There are 2 performances on both Saturday and Sunday. And as always, be sure to pick up a copy of this month's Madison Magazine for more of what's happening all around Madison. Wishing you all a great weekend, and you too, Mark and Susan.
All right, Christina, thank you.
And you as well, Christina. Thank you so much. There's more to come at 4. When we come back, we'll preview a brand new event called Femstival.
And tonight at 5, the former Madison East High School teacher accused of secretly filming students has a trial date set. We'll have that story at 5.
From kids to pets and parties, we'll lay the groundwork for all of life's awesome moments. This is Tom Coyle. My family and I say thank you. We're proud to have been a part of this community for 75 years. During our 75th anniversary event, standard carpet installation is just $75. Carpet 1 room, 3 rooms, even your whole house, and installation is only $75. Coyle Carpet 1 Floor and Home, locally owned and operated since 1945.
I suffered with psoriasis for so long.
I felt gross. People were afraid I was contagious.
I was covered from head to toe. I was afraid to show my skin.
It was kind of a shock after I started Cosentix. I wasn't covered anymore.
4 years clear.
5 years now.
I just look and feel better.
See me.
Cosentix works fast to give you clear skin that can last. Real people with psoriasis look and feel better with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur.
I look and feel better with Cosentix.
5 years is just crazy.
See me.
Ask your dermatologist if Cosentix could help you move past the pain of psoriasis.
Everything must go at American Freight. Don't wait. Take it home today for $50 and no payments for 60 days. Mattress sets from $49 each piece. Memory foam sets from $119 each piece. Sofas from $198. Sectionals from $298. Three-piece bedroom sets from $198. 3 rooms of furniture, 18 pieces from $998. Free layaway till tax time or longer if needed. Same-day delivery ends February 29th at the corner of North Stoughton and Kinsman Boulevard.
The Color Purple is the Tony Award winner for Best Musical Revival. A glory to behold. Experience what people are calling one of the greatest revivals ever. The Color Purple.
At Overture Center, February 18th through 23rd. Get your tickets today at overture.org.
Tonight at 5, the latest on the Madison teacher accused of putting cameras in student hotel rooms. And as spring approaches, why weather experts say we have a heightened risk of flooding in southern Wisconsin.
While temperatures and wind chills will be cold tonight, milder weather arrives for tomorrow and lasts into the weekend. My News 3 Now first warn forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, we're learning how long a former NICU nurse will spend behind bars for abusing 9 babies at Meriter Hospital. We'll have that story for you tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Sun is still shining on the tower cam. Isn't it amazing how longer the days are now?
It's still like till 6 o'clock.
I know, yeah, we're turning the corner here. That is a great looking shot. 3 children in Wisconsin have died of the flu so far this season.
We are getting our first look at how well the flu vaccine is doing in this very active flu season. Elise Preston has the latest.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says this year's flu vaccine is providing substantial protective benefit, especially for children. Flu vaccines are reducing doctor visits related to flu by 45% overall, 55% in children, according to preliminary estimates.
The season has been more severe in children than in previous seasons, and that may have to do with the type of influenza that's circulating. Influenza B can be more severe in children.
Flu vaccine effectiveness typically ranges from 40 to 60%. This season got off to an early and unusual start with flu B viruses dominating, and now a second wave of flu A H1N1 is hitting. So far, the vaccine appears to be less effective against H1N1 for younger adults. In the U.S., there have been at least 26 million illnesses, 250,000 hospitalizations, and 14,000 deaths from flu so far this season.
Doctors stress if you haven't already, it's still not too late to get a flu shot because the season is far from over.
Right now, the map of the United States looks pretty red, and that means that there's a lot of flu activity. Most of the areas have the highest level of flu activity that we see during a season.
And it's worth a reminder, wash your hands, cover your cough and sneeze, and stay home when you're sick to avoid spreading the virus. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
And the good news, the 2 strains of flu circulating this season tend not to be as dangerous to the elderly.
That is good news. Well, still to come at 4, we have a preview of a first-of-its-kind event. It's called Femstival.
It's the largest statewide gathering of all female chefs, and food providers will meet the organizer of the event, and one of the chefs when Live at 4 continues.
How does the automatic emergency braking in the Chevy Equinox work?
I don't know. What?
Can you tell me how lane keep assist with lane departure warning works?
Lane pick
Cultural warning? What is that exactly?
Kids may not know about the 2020 Chevy Equinox's standard safety features, but every parent should.
Qualified lessees can lease this Equinox LT for around $219 a month. Plus, eligible GM card members get $1,000 in bonus earnings.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV.
Well, I get tons of HD.
Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
Once Weekly Ozempic is helping many people with type 2 diabetes like James lower their blood sugar. A majority of adults who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
Here's your A1C.
Oh, my A1C is under 7.
And you may lose weight. Adults who took Ozempic lost on average up to 12 pounds.
I lost almost 12 pounds.
Oh.
Ozempic does not increase the risk of major cardiovascular events like heart attack, stroke, or death.
There's no increased risk.
Oh.
And I only have to take it once a week.
Oh. Ozempic should not be the first medicine for treating diabetes or for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Once Weekly Ozempic is helping me reach my blood sugar goal.
You may pay as little as $25 per prescription. Ask your healthcare provider today about Once Weekly Ozempic.
Well, it could be worse, but we are still certainly seeing some delays as folks begin to head home on this afternoon. Now, this is the Beltline at Park Street right now. You're seeing some areas where the traffic is slowed down. We are certainly seeing the volume increase, but things do continue to move out there for us. Here's where we're seeing our trouble spots on the Beltline right now. A lot of this begins once you get right around Todd Drive in the eastbound direction, and that's going to take you all the way towards about John Nolan. But get this, some of those slowest speeds are about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Sometimes those slowest speeds are down near about 10 miles per hour. So that's why I say it could be worse. We're also seeing more brake lights showing up around campus and downtown as well, but still we're seeing more yellow instead of the oranges and the reds on our traffic maps as we go through this evening. Now, we're going to continue to track things as we go through the day. The slowest route, as always, is the Beltline eastbound from Rorona Road to John Nolan. That's taking you about 8 minutes with an average speed of 32 miles per hour.
All right, Chris, thank you. It could well be the biggest gathering of female chefs and artisanal food producers ever held in the States.
Bring your appetite to the inaugural Femstival. It's hosted by the Culinary Ladies Collective, and it will be held this Sunday at Garver Feed Mill. Francesca Hong is a chef and co-owner of Morris Ramen. Hi, Francesca.
Hi.
Good to see you. And she's also one of the organizers of Femstival. And Laura Lynn Rosenberger is chef and co-owner of Elemento. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
So what is the idea? Tell me about the vision for Femstival.
It's really about creating a space that focuses on femme and women artists and artisans, but that brings the community together to think about how having this space can move our community forward and how we can progress together by being inclusive.
What was the reaction of people when you approached them about this idea?
Folks were stoked. I mean, the first thing we had to do is ask people if they would want to be a part of it. And so many people, so many vendors that I had never really even talked to before were interested in participating. And this whole process has been incredibly collaborative. Garver Events has been amazing. We had enthusiastic sponsors jump on. So it's been really an amazing process of seeing artisans, artists, organizers, and people in the community come together.
It's a day-long festival, and it starts with food. How many food vendors will you have there?
We've got 23 food and beverage producers and artisans.
And from around the state?
We do have some folks coming as far as Viroqua, and then most of them are in the southern Wisconsin area.
And then the food is done being served at 5, yes. Right? And then is there music and art after that?
We have DJ Fenoir will be DJing from about 11:30 to 4-ish, and then we have 3 art installations, as well as 10 different vending artists who will be able to sell a variety of their arts.
And Laura Lynn, you're going to be there. What are you going to be serving?
So I'll make an example for you here.
Okay. You have a main dish and a dessert.
Yeah. So the main dish is going to be rye berries from Meadowlark Organics.
And everything's local.
Everything that we serve is local, yeah.
I like what you said before. Everything at Elemento is local except maybe the salt.
Yeah.
Now, what's that?
So this is basically a version of our broth that we usually make, but just very condensed. So it's kind of like a sweet potato sauce. It's spiced with dried chilies and turmeric. There's onions, garlic, toasted oats that make it thick. Yeah.
And then what do you garnish it with?
So then it's garnished with pickled onions.
Ooh, that's probably what we're smelling. It smells so good, yeah. Well, it's a very colorful dish.
A little bit of microgreens from Garden to Bee.
Beautiful. Now, is this the size portion that you'll be serving, or are they going to be small plates?
This is pretty much the portion size.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the dessert is?
So this is a caramelized sorghum cannelé. So it's crunchy, caramelized on the outside with like a sweet custardy inside. And then this is summer strawberries sauce and some just strawberries. These are frozen from last summer.
Oh, really?
Good reminder that there is summer in Wisconsin.
So the festival is free, but the dishes are $5 each. So $5 for everything.
Yes.
Each plate is $5.
There will be some things that are like Nasala Kombucha will have kombucha there, St. Madison Juice. They may have larger portions available for retail, but all of the food portions will be $5.
I don't think you'll go hungry. Probably not.
No.
And you're pretty excited to be a part of this?
Yeah. Francesca's done amazing work to make it accessible for small businesses like us to get into a big festival like this. So.
This could be the first of many to come.
Yeah, I hope so.
We hope so, and then you can find all the menu items at femstival.com.
Okay. All right, it's this Sunday at Garver Feed Mills. Thanks for being with us today.
Ladies, great to see you.
Good luck.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast.
It's the Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. During this event, we have plussed our new Ram inventory. And you can save over $14,000 off. Plus, get no payments for 90 days. Plus, $500 more for your trade. It's the Auto Show Plus event going on now at Russ Darrow Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
I didn't choose this exact type of metastatic breast cancer, but I did pick clarity by knowing I have a treatment that goes right at it.
Discover Piqray, a treatment that specifically targets PIK3CA mutations in HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC. Piqray is taken with fulvestrant after progression on hormone therapy and helps people live longer without disease progression. Do not take Piqray if you've had severe allergic reactions to it or any of its ingredients. Piqray can cause serious side effects, including severe allergic and skin reactions, high blood sugar levels and diarrhea that are common and can be severe, and pneumonitis. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms of severe allergic reactions or high blood sugar while taking Piqray. Your doctor will monitor your blood sugar before and during treatment, and more often if you have type 2 diabetes. Before starting, tell your doctor if you have a history of diabetes, skin reactions, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Common side effects include rash, nausea, tiredness, weakness, decreased appetite, mouth sores, vomiting, weight loss, hair loss, and changes in some blood tests. Ask your doctor about Piqray.
Squeaky, creaky, leaky entry doors from big box stores should be ignored. Scott the window guy does entry doors. He can do yours and so much more.
We do entry doors at scottthewindowguy.com.
It's the Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. Buy a popular SUV for only $225 per month. We have a Cherokee, plus a Ford Escape, plus a Kia Sorento. It's your choice, and it's just $225 a month. Visit Russ Darrow Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram during our Auto Show Plus event.
114 over 70. Very good.
A nursing shortage has put a serious strain on the healthcare industry.
It becomes more and more challenging.
How it could impact the care you receive, and a look at local efforts to recruit and support nurses. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Hi everyone, a big warm-up is finally on the way starting Friday. Hattie will let us know just how warm it's going to get this weekend.
And if your kid has a toothache or is overdue for an appointment, we'll tell you how to find affordable dental care.
See you at 4:30.
A warm-up on the way.
Yeah, that's true. Now tonight, we're going to see those lows fall down to about 2 degrees. Don't freak out. It's going to happen earlier on. But then things change. Overnight, those temperatures actually begin to warm up. So we'll see those rising temperatures later, and then we'll make it all the way into the mid-30s for those highs tomorrow. That's just the beginning. 40s are in store as we move into the weekend, folks. So as a whole, things are good. Yeah? Things are good in this forecast going into the weekend.
I think we'll start seeing shorts on Saturday if it's 40 degrees.
I saw some shorts on Monday during that. So if you remember, I was at the high school and I was like, it's snowing. And sure enough, there was a student walking around in some shorts.
That's
and I was
Madison.
like,
oh, yeah.
Nonetheless, here's how it is. So we'll see lots of shorts this weekend, I'm sure.
All right. Looking forward to the warmer weather, that's for sure. Thank you, Chris. Tomorrow here on Live at 4, dietitian Julie Andrews has food that's good for your brain.
And our Michael Bruno goes backstage of the Broadway production of The Color Purple, now playing at Overture. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.
Now open, the Signature Hall Grill Bar and Patio at Flytense Golfland. A complete bar including 8 different draft beers and 70-inch flat-screen TVs with great food anytime and happy hour specials. Visit the new Signature Hall Grill Bar and Patio, Flytense Golfland.
I wanted my hepatitis C gone.
I put off treating mine.
Epclusa treats all main types of chronic hep C. Whatever your type, Epclusa could be your kind of cure.
I just found out about mine.
I knew for years. Epclusa has a 98% overall cure rate.
I had no symptoms of hepatitis C.
Mine caused liver damage.
Epclusa is only 1 pill, once a day, taken with or without food for 12 weeks. Before starting Epclusa, your doctor will test if you have had hepatitis B, which may flare up and could cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you have had hepatitis B, other liver or kidney problems, HIV or other medical conditions, and all medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects include headache and tiredness. Ask your doctor today if Epclusa is your kind of cure.
When you're sick, so sick your heart hurts.
And your mind races.
When you think that you might have cancer, and then they tell you,
you have cancer.
And you just want somebody to say,
it's going to be okay.
This is where we treat cancers that were once thought untreatable, where success is measured in lives saved and dreams fulfilled. UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
Here at Harker Heating and Cooling of Madison, we are proudly celebrating over 70 years of excellence. A lot can change in 70 years, but some things never do, like our commitment to providing our customers with 100% satisfaction every single day. When you make that call to Harker, you can rest assured that a team of qualified, trustworthy, skilled individuals are ready to address your home service concerns. Harker Heating and Cooling, your hometown heroes for over 70 years.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Introducing Top Tracer, the new golf ball tracking and gaming system at the golf range of Vitense Golfland. Top Tracer gathers data for every shot. Compete against friends in a point game or play a virtual round of golf. Experience Top Tracer at Vitense Golfland.
In today's Final Touch, it's a backyard water slide unlike any you've probably ever seen.
Check out this guy in Australia making good use of some heavy machinery. He puts down a bunch of plastic in a circle and then wets it. One end of the rope is tied to an excavator as he holds on for dear life to the other end. The excavator operator spins him around and around until he lets go and ends up in a pool.
That looks like a blast.
That does look like a lot of fun. I think people have too much time on their hands, perhaps.
Exactly.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching.